first thing I want to begin with is to talk about the issue of obesity in our communities in general. And unfortunately, it is one that is continuing to grow. If you look at statistics, 40% of adults in the United States now are considered to be obese. That is over 100 million people that are obese in our communities. In any state at any one time, 20% of that population, even in some of the states that are fittest, still have 20% of the population adults that are obese in our community. And that's unfortunate. Now, what is obesity? And obesity is not just weight gain. Obesity has to do with the type of weight you gain. And there's two different types of fat that you get when you gain weight. And the one that's important is what we call VAT, or visceral adipose tissue. And the easiest way to know what that is, that's what you get around your midsection, the big bellies and things like that. That is the fat that is important medically. The fat elsewhere in the body, while it's something of concern, it doesn't have the same implications as the visceral adipose tissue. And the visceral adipose tissue around the abdomen is something that we can measure in the offices to see how much bad fat, if you will, that people are gaining, a waist circumference. This visceral adipose tissue has been associated with a variety of medical problems. It's been associated with the development of coronary artery disease, the development of hypertension. It's also now associated with type 2 diabetes mellitus and stroke as far as cardiovascular disease. And is also one of the leading indicators of fatty liver disease. Why is that important? Fatty liver disease is now overcoming hepatitis C as far as the leading risk factor for cirrhosis and the leading risk factor for people needing a liver transplant. And we're seeing more and more of these in our community, and it is a disease that does not have, unfortunately, a treatment. And also visceral adipose tissue, believe it or not, has been associated with increased development of cancers in our community. And so while I say that, the link between COVID-19 and obesity is not simply just being obese, making more risk for COVID. It is increasing the other risk factors for getting COVID and getting disease process in relation to COVID. Diabetes mellitus, hypertension, liver disease, coronary artery disease, heart disease. Those are all clearly risk factors for getting worsening outcomes with COVID. And so obesity leads to those things, which leads to some of the poor outcomes, unfortunately, that we see.